Welcome back to episode 14 of the Testrun. Today I'm joined by one of, if not the most well-known Lifesteal SMP member. After taking a risk and deciding to do content full-time, he gained over 500,000 subscribers in around a year and is now taking a much more old-school approach to content that's actually genius. Please welcome ClownPierce. Clown, how are you today?
I'm good, Parrot. How are you?
I'm doing good. Honestly, I can't believe that this show took so long, to finally get you on, but this is the show. This is the episode that everybody's been anticipating.
Have they really?
Yeah, they are. They want every single comment is like, we want Clown on, we want Clown on, we want Clown to talk about.
So
yeah.
Awesome. Oh my god. I actually, this is the show or the podcast I've been listening to. If I go to the store or anything, I go outside, I have to travel. I usually listen to this podcast. At least I did until I ran out of them. But
ran out of episodes.
Yeah. But I still tune in every week, and it's nice. It's just talking about recent stuff on YouTube and hearing how everybody's doing their own stuff. I don't know. I like it. This is a great podcast.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That means a lot. Are you allowed to say where you are right now? Because I know you've been alternating between two countries. I'm not sure how public you are about that.
So my lawyer has told me not to comment. No, I'm kidding. I'm in the Netherlands right now.
Okay. How's that been?
Pretty good. I've been productive. Yeah, that's been pretty productive doing whatever here because, it's my home setup.
Mm-hmm.
It's where I'm most comfortable. And yeah.
How's the food?
The food. Oh, I love the food here. I think Dutch food is so much better than Canadian food. I'm sorry to say it. I'm really sorry to say it. But maybe it's the fact that we didn't really have a very good kitchen where we were staying.
Mm-hmm.
So usually we ordered in, which is not a very good thing to do. But yeah, it's nice to have home cooked meals. I guess it kind of is unfair to take home cooked meals and compare them to Canadian takeout, but it was interesting.
Yeah. I have a question and I want to hear this firsthand from you. Right? So when I search online and I search up which country has the tallest people, I get the Netherlands. Okay. And they say the reason for that is because your guys' diet over there is a lot of cheese, a lot of meat, and foods high in calcium and protein. Is that true?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I remember Paige saw me drinking a glass of milk once, and she was just like, "You just drink milk straight up?" And that's the first time I realized that that's a weird thing to people to just drink a glass of milk. I didn't realize that. It is
actually.
Is it?
It's so weird, dude. It's so weird.
You say that's funny because it's just such a normal thing for me, just to drink a glass of milk. Maybe paired with something, or back in the day, I used to drink milk every day. But now it's very occasional. It's a specific type of thirst that you gotta satiate with the milk,
What?
Or when you're eating a certain type of food, you're eating a cookie, you gotta have a glass of milk with it. That's just how it is. And we eat a lot of cheese here as well. We have Gouda cheese, and yeah, that's definitely something I miss when going to Canada. By the way, they have cheddar. It is nowhere near Gouda cheese, in my opinion.
Wait, what's the name of it?
Gouda, or I guess in English it's called
Gouda.
Yeah,
Gouda cheese. Oh, okay.
But we call it Gouda here. Gouda's a place, by the way.
Okay, and the cheese comes from there?
Not really, actually.
Oh.
We just kind of call it cheese here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm going to be 100% honest. The last time I probably had a glass of milk, dude, I was probably 6 or something.
Really?
Yeah, nobody has just a straight glass of milk. That's actually weird. No offense.
No offense taken. No, no. I think it's something very normal for me. At least
Okay.
in my culture, it's like drink a
Yeah.
glass of milk.
So is just nobody in the Netherlands lactose intolerant?
Um, no, they are, and I don't think they drink milk. Honestly, I don't know. I don't. I don't really know anybody that's lactose intolerant. I think maybe there aren't lactose intolerant people in the Netherlands. Who knows? Maybe there's a whole conspiracy. I never realized this.
Yeah. What's the Netherlands school system like? Like is there a high school and like a middle school and an elementary school, or does it look different?
Yeah. So you got like elementary. Uh, I always have trouble linking these to my Dutch counterparts, but I think elementary is where you go when you're like a toddler, when you're like 4, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you go there for like 3 grades maybe. Then you move up, and then wait, no, right. Elementary is before that. And then you go to middle school. And then we have grade 1 to 8. And in 8th grade, when you graduate that, you go to high school. And then high school, in middle school, you do a little test.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and that will generally determine, together with what your teacher's opinion is over the 8th year, which
Mm-hmm.
subdivision of high school you fall into. And we got HAVO, VMBO, and VWO. And I think I said those out of order, but VMBO is the normal one basically. And
Yeah.
you have quite a few grades of this, and it's just kind of the normal one. HAVO is like uh, for people that can handle a bigger challenge,
Mm-hmm.
and VWO, and it's also called gymnasium. If you add Latin to the package, uh,
Mm-hmm.
those are just for like basically people who want to be scientists, right?
Okay.
Like people that can handle a lot of educational pressure and stuff. So that's kind of the system, and yeah, that's mainly it. Then you go from depends on which one you fall into, because I think VWO is like 6 years,
Wow.
but VMBO is 4. So it really, yeah, it really depends which one you go for. You also have the option to move up one rank when you graduate.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're in 4th year of VMBO, you can go from 4th year that to 4th year HAVO, and yeah, you can move up like that. So you'll always need to do an extra year if you move up through that, because you go from year 4 to year 4.
Interesting. And when did you end up like first starting YouTube? Was that during like the VMBO, HAVO, like that period, or did you graduate that first and then you jumped into YouTube?
I actually graduated that for a good 2 years before starting YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Because first I actually moved up from VMBO to HAVO, or we call it HAVO here, which is
Yeah.
a lot easier to say, but
Yeah.
uh, HAVO. Yeah, we went from VMBO to HAVO, and yeah, I couldn't really handle it. Honestly, I've never been one that I've never been good with education at all. I got through high school purely by paying attention in class and then doing the tests. I never did homework or learned ever.
Mm-hmm.
I was too busy playing Minecraft.
Okay.
So I got through Bambio High School that way, and then went up to Havo. And after that, yeah, I just kind of realized this is not for me. How about I just start doing college already?
Mm-hmm.
And the thing was, my dad was getting into day trading, which is a very specific type of like, I guess, stock trading,
Yeah.
where you go in and like make a trade, and then watch how the economy of that trade goes, like how the stock goes up or down, and then within like a few minutes or a few seconds, even maybe, you sell it again.
Yeah.
Like it's really rapid transactions. And I thought, hey, you can make a lot of money doing that. You can work from home behind your computer. You can have a lot of financial and time management freedom that way because you don't have a boss. You're just trading on your own. I should do that. So I went into international business college because my my English was already pretty good, so I could do
Mm-hmm.
international business instead of normal business. And there, I kind of ran into the same issue. Like, this is a lot of work. I have to do stuff at home. I don't think I can do this. Plus, it was really boring. It was just so boring. So at that point, I was like, okay, how about I take a gap year here and I figure out what I actually want to do. So I left school, and from there, I just kind of played some games for a month or two, probably.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, I think I discovered the Dream SMP. I think that's
Yeah.
actually the first time, because they were in their election arc, and I thought that was really good. They had Jay Schlatt. He was putting on a performance, and I thought these guys are making a lot of money playing Minecraft. What if I make a channel? And from there, I literally started uploading every day for a week, put out some hot garbage, and thought maybe I shouldn't be uploading weekly if I don't know what, or daily if I don't know what I'm doing yet. And from there, I kind of started going into PvP videos, and from there, I got noticed by other people and eventually joined Lifesteal. So, yeah, that's kind of how my YouTube channel started.
Mm-hmm. So if you don't mind me asking, when you took that gap year, what was your like life situation like? Like what were you planning to fall back on if it didn't end up working? And like what were you doing at the time outside of
So,
YouTube?
yeah, so I was just kind of living with my parents. And the idea was when next like semester rolls around or semester next school year rolls around, I'll go to college or something that I've chosen in this gap year. So I'll go back
Mm-hmm.
to college. This year is to figure out what I want. When a few months in, I decided on YouTube that would be video editing, like a course on video editing and like film or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and I kind of realized that I think it's just a core issue with who I am that I don't really agree with education, like the system. Like I just it doesn't really work for me. Uh, and then in that year, I kind of blew up as well, right in time to stop the process of going back to college. Like I
Mm-hmm.
just started earning enough to make a living on YouTube. And I remember making the split decision of I just joined Lifesteal. If I grind this out right now, I might have a platform that will like support me. But if I go to college now, I will not have enough time to do that. And I remember my mom was always like, "Yo, it's cool that you're doing YouTube, but you should do college first." And this time I was just like, you know, mom, I literally have my dream job right here. Um, this is my window of opportunity to get into it. And if I spend this time making a fall net for myself, or if I fail, then it's going to make that opportunity pass by. So that's kind of how I convinced her that I wouldn't go. And I was
Mm-hmm.
over 18 at the time. Oh, and I was 18 at the time. So it's really, yeah, I kind of had the
Interesting.
decision for myself anyway. She's not the type to make that decision for me. Uh,
Yeah.
so that's pretty nice. But it was nice that she was supportive of it anyway.
I think I may have heard this story before, but what was like your perspective of joining Lifesteal? Because I remember I got a DM, but it wasn't from you. So how did that work for you? And then why did you end up taking a chance on the server?
It was funny because I was in the Ryzen SMP, which I got in through knowing AJ the Bold.
Mhm.
And that was the first like big content creator I talked to, and he got me into the Rise and SMP pretty much no problem. And I saw the Horizon, which is this big YouTuber, and just it was my first time being around people like that, like really big creators.
Yeah.
And then we played it for a bit. Played Ryzen. Baked was there. I met Leowook there, and I met Spoke actually on his events. So I had a direct DM to Spoke, and I was like, "Hey Spoke, I joined this YouTuber SMP. Do you want to join?" And he's like, "Sure." So I didn't log in for the rest of the season, but we'll get to that. So we played season one. That's all fine. I streamed it a bit, made a few videos, and then I open up my own SMP, which is just kind of a small vanilla place where my small YouTube following could like gather and play around in and whatever. And we had like an opening day with like 15 people online. It was pretty cool. And then Leo Wook joined, and he was like, "What's up, ClownPierce? Cool server. Uh, there's this place called Lifesteal. It looks pretty cool. You want to like gather Spoke and Baked and just try to get on it?" I was like, "Dude, sounds cool." So I remember we went and asked Spoke if he wanted to join. We asked Baked, and Baked was like, "Yo, this parrot dude just followed me on Twitter. Like yesterday. This is kind of a coincidence. I could DM him." And so Baked sent a DM vouching for like all of us, and then he said you came back and said that you knew all three of us, which it took me by surprise that you mentioned all four of us. And that you said all four took me by surprise because I thought this guy does not know who I am. Not in a million years. I had like 3K on YouTube.
You know what's funny though? The reason why I knew about you was because of a lot of people think it's because of Spoke's events, but it was actually because of this one trap on Ryzen SMP. And I remember watching the video. I forget exactly who made it, but someone made this trap where they took a bunch of zombies and like put them in full netherite, gave them a bunch of potion effects, and then tried to kill you. And then I remember you escaped, and I was like, dude, who is this guy? Like, how does he even do that? So that's how I knew about you.
That's funny. Yeah, no, I remember. That's Gromac999. He made that
Oh
trap.
yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. I showed somebody that recently. I forgot who it was, but they were talking about a similar trap, and I just showed him that. It's like this has been done before. Okay, hold on, but imagine the exact same trap, but they're piglin brutes.
That would be insane.
That would actually be inescapable.
Yeah, like respectfully to anybody who tries to escape it, you got to have like crystals on you or something.
Yeah, exactly. Piglin brutes, they have so much more health and they hit so much harder.
I know.
Yeah.
All right, and then where did you go from there? So you got the invite, but you were already on like the Ryzen server and you already had your own server. What caused you to take that chance on Lifesteal?
So my own server was nothing serious. I wasn't really managing it. I had a small staff team that were taking care of it. It was just a tiny place to hang around. It was like $10 a month on Shockbite, right? It wasn't a big project I was undertaking. It was something for the community. So I wasn't really taking a step back from that at all because I never really took a step in to that, you know?
Yeah.
Rise in SMP season 2 was already kind of dying. I mean, Spoke and I were the ones who mainly played, and this is where we actually got to know each other because we formed a team, and with Horizon as well, the three of us. But it was mainly Spoke and me who were online, and yeah, there was just not really much to play on. When I got the invite to Lifesteal, it was just a big opportunity. Not as much as I figured out later that it actually was, but I mean, it seemed like less of an opportunity than it actually ended up being, but still, it still seemed like a pretty good opportunity and a pretty fun server. Like, oh, these guys are PvPing. This Rochambeau is like their best PvPer. What if I come in and just like kill everybody?
Destroy everybody.
Yeah, I could probably do that. So yeah, that's it. And here's the funny misconception. I heard in multiple like podcast episodes that you guys talk about season 1 of Lifesteal and how I never logged on.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Spoke, Leo, Baked, and I would all come in at the same time. I thought we had agreed on a day that we would all join. I didn't know that Spoke, Leo. I didn't know that Spoke and Leo were already playing. I would have been playing too if I knew that.
Dude, Spoke joined like instantly, and I remember he still has this footage of he was like in a call with one of his like IRL friends, and it was just me messaging him in game. I was like, "Yo, we need to VC," and then Spoke in the footage was like, "Bro, this guy's trying to VC with me. I'll be back." And then I remember it was just the most awkward conversation I've ever had with someone. It was like I was talking to Spoke. I was like, "Yo, so how's it going, bro?" And he's like, "Yo, what's like in his back then he had such a deep voice, dude. He was like, "Yo, what's good?" Yeah, like that, bro.
It was really funny. Yeah. I did. Yeah. It's so weird how that all turns out, right? Because that first conversation, that first really awkward conversation, I feel like you and Spoke are like you're like the closest person to Spoke at this
Yeah.
point.
Mm-hmm.
Like you guys are besties, I feel like. So that's interesting how that works out. Like
It is, yeah. The funny thing about season 2 though was that there was like actual beef. Like I had actual beef with you. I don't know if you knew, but like I
I
genuinely
had my
hated you, bro.
sneaking suspicion. I sometimes have this where like the leader, I don't know, sometimes I like get vibes, you know, like
Hmm.
short, like you not responding to my messages that quickly, or like, I don't know, you like leaving whenever I join, something like that. As it, I knew somewhere like, he might actually not really like me, which I never disliked you really, but maybe that's also because I didn't really lose that much. Maybe it's because of
Dude,
that.
I took
But
so many L's that season. I was the L magnet that season.
okay, but here's the thing: I took the biggest L because my content was just me existing. You actually had a goal. That's what I. That's why. That's kind of something I realized later on in season 2 was like, hey,
Hmm.
these guys are making good videos because they have goals and they try to do them. So what am I gonna do? I don't need to trap anybody because I could just kill them. So what makes sense for me to do? And that's when I thought of like the salesman video where I
Hmm.
sell armor for really cheap. And I also watched Rick Rap's Copper House video, and I was like, what if I do that but like end game? So instead of a copper starter base, I designed a diamond mansion, and this thing kind of looked sick. And I wanted to trade my way up to 10 stacks of diamonds, which would be enough to make the diamond mansion, but I kind of never did it because I got lazy afterwards, and then the season ended.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like so many things on season 2 were just so iconic though. Like specifically the MOB tower. That was that like calculated beforehand, or were you just like, yeah, I'm going to make a cool team and call it MOB and let's see how it turns out.
So the idea was to join with Leowook and Zam, who I had met before,
Mhm.
and like before we joined Lifesteal, and make a faction that's kind of mobster themed, right?
Mhm.
Like mafia. So we thought, what's like an acronym for mob or like MOB, like mobsters, mob. And then Clutch. It was actually Clutch. It was like man of battle. so so I was like, dude, that's brilliant. So yeah, that from there we ran with Men of Battle, and the tower is actually okay. So back in the day, me and a certain friend uh, we used to play a lot of Townie, and we would hop on Townie servers. And this friend was crazy about like politics, but not like recent politics, but like political manipulation, right? So
Like in
we would come
Minecraft or
on.
in real life?
I mean, in Minecraft,
Okay, okay. I was like,
it was
what?
like it was like a teen. He wasn't manipulating anybody politically, but like
Okay.
he was into that in Minecraft. So he he and I always made this one empire called Carthage on every towny server, and I was kind of the builder for that usually, and like the enforcer. So usually I built a big Carthage tower, which was
Hmm.
very similar to the MOB, except instead of it, the windows going outward, they all went inwards, and you would
Yeah.
have kind of a balcony there. And it was all made out of andesite, I think, which looked a lot worse than blackstone. But yeah, it wasn't calculated that it would be that iconic, but it was just, hey, I'm on this big creator server. I'm a small creator. How do I stand out the most? And I was like, okay, I'll just build a really big base. So
Yeah.
that's kind of how it started.
Hmm. And then when season two was over, like where was your stance and everything? Because here you were, like, I don't know how much you had grown. I don't know exactly how much you had grown over season two. I know you grew a lot, but
I I went from like 3K to probably 150K.
yeah, that's crazy. Um, what were your thoughts for season three? Like going into season three before anything happened, were you like, I'm gonna take this villainous role again, or were you more like, I'm gonna make idea based videos and focus my content around that?
It was interesting because I'd realized that idea based content was where it's at for the
Hmm.
lifesteal community at the time, but I didn't know how to execute or even get these ideas yet. So my first season 3 video ended up being just us running around and getting started, doing whatever. But slowly during season 3, I started transitioning into that idea based content with it might have been the Funhouse. That was the first one.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah, the Funhouse was nice, but then the evolution of that was the casino.
Yeah.
That's still my proudest video to this day. I think like one awesome ClownPierce video. That's the casino. Everything went right for that one. It had uh, Branzy and me interacting, which apparently everybody loves that. So it had like a bunch of high stakes, like Liuwook gambling 9 of his hearts away at once, or like 6 of them. I forget how many. He was at one heart afterwards. He gambled himself into his grave, basically.
Yeah.
In total, that trap got like 20 hearts out of everybody
Yeah, that's crazy.
in total. Yeah, it was absolutely insane.
Hmm.
And it had just a bunch of fun interactions with people, but it also had a cool B plot of Vitalicy coming in and seeing what's going on and having to appease him a little bit, but then betraying him, and then having to fight him in subs to get Branzy back and stuff, and like being outnumbered and outmatched there, but still winning in the end. I don't know. I think that's like the best storyline of a ClownPierce video ever.
Yeah, that is cool. Over the course of season two, I'm sure you noticed, but like at the beginning, you were just this monster, like destroying everybody, dropping 4v1s. But I feel like over the course of season two, the skill gap kind of closed. Like I feel like you were still the best at the end of the season, but it wasn't by as big of a margin near the beginning. And I've always had this question, like you've been kind of branded as like the deadliest player and the best PvPer. Um, did that take like some sort of toll on you? Like, did you feel like, oh, I can't log on Legacy and just duel people because I might get clipped? Or was it like, oh, I don't really care. This is just what my audience thinks of me and I'm just going to do whatever?
It's interesting. That's kind of both. I guess it's kind of both true because back when before I had a YouTube channel, I think I got good pretty quickly because I had no ego. which I never like got into fights with anybody over their skill or whatever. Like if somebody beats me, they're just better and I can learn from them. That's
Yeah.
always been my thing. I've always had an idea of like, okay, there's a lot for me to learn. And I feel like after being called the deadliest and like having so many people say how good I am, I think I developed a little bit of an ego. So at some
Hmm.
point, I didn't start fighting people about it, but I did start feeling extra bad whenever I lost, even though I was putting in much less hours than I used to in the PvP arena.
Yeah.
But I started feeling worse. I was like, I was supposed to be like the deadliest player, and that's kind of evolved into uh, almost feeling like, well, I shouldn't disappoint my audience. Like
Hmm.
they think I'm the best, so I should be the best. That kind of leads into like what is the best Minecraft player? What does that look like? So it's always a little bit on the back of my mind whenever I practice or play or whatever. But it doesn't really prevent me. What really prevents me is just I don't know, just not wanting to sometimes. Not wanting to put in the hours anymore. But uh, I've actually recently been playing a lot of PvP. Uh, and I don't know. Do you know the tier list?
Dude, funny story. So, Vortex and I was about to make a second channel video where we got tier tested
Hmm.
in the 5 different like sections and we wanted to see who was better. But yeah, I do know about the tier tests.
Actually, I saw Vortex on the sword tier list. That's funny.
Oh
He
yeah, yeah.
actually he actually got like low tier 3, didn't he?
Um yeah, he was going off in sword. I remember I never got tier tested like in the SMP kit, but in that kit, I was like, I played with a tier tester, not in like an actual tier test, and he said he would have rated me high tier 3. But like Crystal, bro, I got like tier 5 or something, and
Yeah, yeah,
I don't
yeah.
even know
No,
about anything else.
that's pretty funny. Yeah, my goal is to get tier 2 on sword.
Hmm.
That's like my current goal. I'm taking it slowly, but what I want to do, because I've kind of found that the people who I think are the best are the ones who are versatile and good. Like I don't think the tier 1 swords player is all that good. I mean, he is insane. Getting tier 1 is
Yeah.
like one of the greatest achievements you can make in Minecraft. But then you also have, for instance, It's Real Me, who is tier 2 in multiple game modes and high tier 3 in most others. And maybe even tier 1 in one or two. I don't actually know if he's tier 1, but I know he's tier 2 in multiple,
Hmm.
which is just insane. Scoring that highly across the board, I think that is what marks like a good Minecraft player.
Yeah.
There's a rank called Combat Master. I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
I've never heard of that.
It is a certain score that you have to get, and every tier test, or well, every tier that you have, contributes to that score.
Hmm.
And I know that UHC and Crystal are the only ones that are like scored differently because they have such a high skill ceiling. It's a lot harder to get a higher tier on those. So those are actually worth more
Hmm.
points. But if you reach this certain amount of points, which is just an insane amount of points, like you got to get tier 2 in like 2 or 3 different things. I think you might have to be tier 1 in at least one game mode,
Oh my god.
and you need to be high tier 3 in Crystal and UHC,
Yeah.
which is you just have to basically master every combat mode, every game mode in the game, and then you get combat master. And I think there's only been one of those in the entire game.
Is that It's Real Me?
Uh, it might be. I'm actually not entirely sure, but
Yeah.
the concept of somebody being so versatile and being able to do anything, has really gotten me thinking, and has gotten me like, well, this is my job. This is kind of what I enjoy doing,
Hmm.
but I haven't been enjoying it as much because I feel like I should be better than I really am. But recently, I've been able to put that ego aside and just learn, and
Yeah.
I've been improving a lot because of it. It's really nice. I've
Hmm.
been just focusing on sword PvP, and I tested. I got low tier 3, but I kind of performed poorly in the test because I was a little nervous.
Yeah.
And everybody, even in the tier test, everybody said you should be getting high tier 3 right here.
Yeah.
And I beat high tier 3, so I think I'm around that skill level right now. But over the next month, I'm gonna be practicing a lot more on sword, and I actually became good friends with one of the tier 2s.
Mm-hmm.
He's called Swoon. He's also Dutch. So we actually, it's one of the only people online that I talk Dutch to.
Yeah.
Actually, probably the only person online that I talk Dutch to on call. So, um, yeah, we've been playing together a lot, and I've been improving quite a bit, and it feels nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What's really interesting for me is I used to be a huge legacy sweat. Like I would get home and I'd just get everything out the way and I'd hop on legacy with like Vortex or even just like 1v1 nons. But um I think even though it wasn't really ever a part of my content, it started getting to my head, especially when there were kids on like the server that would snipe me and then like call me bad when they killed me. But like for me, I think it's different for you because PvP is like a really influential part of your content. But like for me, it just wasn't. It didn't really make sense to me, especially when. And this is not like an ego thing or anything, but like especially when I felt like I was one of the best PvPers on like lifesteal, and if I were to die, it would either be to like a really competitive fight or to a trap, right? So I was like, if this is not part of my content and this is only taking like an emotional toll on me because there's kids who are putting in like 10 hours a day just to kill me, why am I even doing this in the first place? So like I'll log on sometimes before there's like a big fight on lifesteal just to warm up, but besides that, I think I kind of like quit legacy pretty much or just quit PvPing in general since I don't even know, like October or something like that.
I think the reason why I'm like good
Mm-hmm.
is because I realize how to efficiently practice.
Yeah.
And the way to do that is to just go out and find somebody good and somehow convince them to like be your practice buddy. Because you need to consistently fight that high level player.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I think legacy isn't all that good for it.
Yeah,
Like it's
bro.
good for learning the basics, but like if you really want to take a step beyond, like I remember grinding out the life seal kit for season 3, but the moment Foray taught me how he plays UHC, how he abuses the shield and cobwebs and just everything, I became a monster. And I
Yeah.
became able to challenge Red, who is the number 2 PvPer on Lifesteal right now,
Yeah.
in my opinion, and Pengi at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, sure, there were god apples. That was only the
64 of
healing
them.
aspect. That was only the healing aspect, though. You got to
Yeah.
remember that
Yeah.
we all bring a limited amount of XP bottles and armor durability, and I was still able to break their armor and make them run before they ran out mine.
Mm-hmm.
And that was I got really good at using cobwebs for that fight, and abusing shield basically.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so yeah, I think it's interesting that I thought of myself as good at the life seal kit back then, but looking back, I didn't know anything. I just didn't know anything about how to PvP with the shield or
Yeah.
anything, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's interesting because the way I kind of thought about it was like, well, first off, way back in the day, I used to be like a huge Dream stan, and as a result, I would be a shield and axe player. Like, you know that kit,
Mm-hmm.
the
Yeah.
axe kit.
Yeah.
So I felt like, especially starting off in season 3, I was already pretty skilled at like hotkeying and shielding and all that kind of stuff. But um, season 3, I feel like it was kind of an extension of season 2 in a way, such that I was like, why am I trying to brand myself as the best PvPer? Or why am I trying to become the best PvPer when I can brand myself as like the smartest player? right? And
Mm-hmm.
I remember seeing something from Mr. Beast, which was not related to Minecraft at all, but he was like, you can't be the best in the world at two things, is what he said. So you can't be the best PvPer and also like the best YouTuber. But I feel like for you, that that's like you're like an outlier to what he said, because your content and your PvP skill are so like intertwined with each other. And especially if you have like an editor or you have a way to kind of streamline your content or streamline it, I forget which word it is, you can be the best at two things. And I don't know if you intend to be the best at two things or become a combat master, but like becoming a combat master, bro, that would be a banger video. That would be insane.
True, it actually would. Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I've even, I don't know if I'd even make a video about it because that would be a project that would take literal years,
Yeah.
probably. Like, it's gonna take a few months to get tier 2 on sword, and then I need to maintain that, and then I need to add on to that probably UHC at this point because I feel like that's the most. I'm going from like what I can use the most, and like pure sword skill. Most game modes benefit from that. That's why I went that first. That's like a good core. If I'm really good at sword, that's gonna give me a great core for the rest of the skills. And UHC, that's gonna help me with SMP kit and whatever we do on lifesteal, whatever. Usually, I'll play SMP kit whenever I'm doing something, like sword, shield, axe. Sometimes cobwebs, sometimes not. A little water bucket in there. Got a bow. That's my stuff. That's what I really like. So probably after sword, it's gonna be UHC, but I'm really interesting to see how that goes.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any plans to like do something in season 5? Because season 5 is approaching really, really quickly. And
yeah,
if you're just a beast in PvP, like you can run back some season 2 type stuff.
Yeah, I don't know how. Okay, this is the way that I started season 4. And nobody really noticed just how good I was in season 4. I was challenging Foray. Foray would lose to me on occasion, which is saying a lot. Foray is an absolute beast.
Yeah.
Like, one of the greatest like Minecraft players, in my opinion. He is so good at like most game modes. And in SMP Kit, I was actually kind of giving him a run for his money at some point. And that was like around season 4. So I went into season 4 with the Pengy and Redwoods video, and I was ready to just kick some but then nothing really happened that I could get that involved in. And it felt like I joined so late that everybody joined up and made their group. And I had a whole practice arc with Rec Rap. Yeah. We got really attuned to each other's style, and we basically became like a 2v however many duo that just we wanted to go wild and PvP some people. But then I don't know if there wasn't enough happening, or maybe we didn't log in at the right times or put in enough time on lifesteal. But it never really turned into anything. Never did much fighting on lifesteal at all.
Yeah.
The one fight where I was really able to like use all my skills was the Prince Am fight for the crown. I was like, yeah. I was like around the top of my game at that point, and Prince Am wanted to fight me, and I think it's interesting that what the lifesteal players think sometimes about like my skill level. Like I've heard Mapik say a bunch of times that I'm really washed. Meanwhile, I had just spent like the last month practicing with Foray and learning everything he has to teach me, and would literally wipe my season 2 self in a PvP match. Like if my season 2 self fought me now, you would be thinking, dude, this guy's hacking. Like I think I've improved so much, and I think it's interesting to see that people don't really realize that.
Yeah.
Which makes a lot of sense because I don't hop on much and PvP much with them anymore. But it's funny to see the assumptions. They haven't seen me PvP much, so they think that I must not have PvP much in general. And I think that's the mentality that Prince M tried to fight me in as well. Uh, but yeah, I was way too prepared for that.
Yeah. What is really interesting though is that unless you kind of set it up, nowadays there's no such thing as a fair fight on Lifesteal. Like even that one fight where you came so prepared, we just had that like custom color coded armor trick up our sleeve. And that
Yeah.
like I feel like unless you had four of you, like four ClownPierces on the other team, we would have just won that no matter what because
Yeah,
of what we
exactly.
had prepared.
Yeah, exactly. And that's
So
just yeah. I but I kind of went into that fight loosely anyway. Well, this might go south. I'm just gonna run away if it does. I'm just kind of after the crown. If I can loot the crown, and then Pengy almost broke the crown, so he gave it to me.
that's
So I
funny.
just ran off with it, and
Yeah.
now I have the crown.
Mhm.
Never really did anything with it though,
Yeah.
but I think most people wanted to put it to rest anyway.
What are your thoughts on season 5? Like, do you have any plans for anything you're gonna do?
Um, I'm planning on making uh I don't know. I'm planning on making my new style of video on there, and it no, I don't really have any plans. No, actually, I just hope to be there at the start this time because I feel like there was a big disconnect
Yeah,
with
yeah.
me and season 4 because I'd missed so much of it at the start. Uh, which I'm actually about to go on a big trip again, so I don't know when the launch is actually planned,
Oh boy.
but I might actually miss the start again, which would be pretty bad. Uh, but I might make a bigger effort to get into it. But season 4, at some point, it starts feeling less like a Minecraft server and more like
A creative server.
something. Yeah, but also just like a. How do you say that? It becomes too iconic and too high stakes, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to say this. It feels like everything I do has to be big and make an impact,
Mm-hmm.
or else it's not good enough. That's what it sometimes feels like.
Yeah.
And yeah,
I think it
I don't
is
know. I
interesting
just
though, because the reason why season 2 and season 3 succeeded so well is like, yeah, there were creators like me and Rekrap and Ro who were pulling off these crazy stunts. But if it wasn't also for creators like you who maybe the stunts weren't as big, but you were just like consistently uploading and you were garnering an audience and you were keeping everybody engaged and you were still making good
mm,
content while doing it, like that I think was so influential. And recently I think everybody has kind of seen how you've moved back to like really consistent, not not always like high stakes content. So what kind
mm.
of pushed you to go back to that?
So I've talked with you about this before and
Mm-hmm.
spoke. I feel like, but there's this power creep, I'll call it, in like our content where like the next one needs to be bigger, and that just keeps going until it just crushes you. And when it crushes you, that's when you start uploading one video per 3 months, right? That's
Yeah.
what I feel like that's what's happened to most of Lifesteal at this point. And for months, I've been talking about, well, maybe I should lower the stakes on my video. And I feel like that's really the solution to this. Maybe I should, make the videos a little bit less effort, but then upload consistently. That might be good. But then SB737 DMs me on Twitter and he's like, hey, friend or foe, big PvP series with 4 other creators. Could be fun. Are you in? You have to upload weekly. I was like, I have to upload weekly. How do I do that? And then I started thinking to myself, well, if I have a look at SB's channel, he's doing really well off of just weekly content. And these videos is him talking to people, his audience, while playing Minecraft. And there's no like big storyline. There's no insane cinematics that he pulls off usually.
Yeah.
And that's how he uploads weekly. And I've always liked to go into content with the mindset of people like to see me play Minecraft.
Yep, I agree.
So whatever I do, people will like. I like thinking that way because that makes me not afraid to upload what I want to. And that I've always kind of been wanting to move more to that, basically to output more Minecraft content a little easier, just to make it so I can play more Minecraft, spend less time making that Minecraft into a video story, like a story video, for instance. So I've always been kind of trying to streamline that process, but this friend or foe thing that came on my path, I was like, okay, I could say no because I want to go back to uploading monthly, but look where that's getting me.
Yeah.
Maybe I just need something to like kick me in the butt and say upload weekly right now. So I was like, yes, I'm in. I'll do it. And right after that, I went on Lifesteal and I was like, okay, let's produce a video in a week. And then I made the end base video with Spoke in it and like a bunch of people, Woogie, Pangy. Actually, no, Pangy wasn't in that. He was in the recording, but it never ended up being relevant. But yeah, it was received really well, and I'd finished the video in like 4 days. And I thought to myself, wow, I can actually do this. Like people are really liking this style of video. Like I was reading the comments a lot because I was very interested in what people would say. And I expected them to be like, okay, but where's the PvP though? No, but a lot of people were like, hey, this is nice. It actually reminds me a lot of like the old Let's Play style, and it's really cool to see a chill video. And what I started noticing as well is that a bunch of creators came up to me as well and said they enjoyed it. So it was striking a chord with an older audience as well, which is always something I like to see. Like that's when I feel like I made something meaningful, is when like older audiences can also appreciate it.
Yeah.
And yeah, that just kind of motivated me a lot to keep going. So I recorded another video on Lifesteal that's coming out at some point. It's kind of getting hindered by the fact that I need to work ahead to get some friend or foe episodes ready so I can go on a trip. But yeah, that's I recorded another Lifesteal video, and then friend or foe started, and we started doing that, and that's been going great.
Yeah,
been having a lot of fun with that.
And you know what's crazy? I'm looking at your channel stats right now on Social Blade, and this April, when you started going back to a consistent schedule, this April, in terms of views, was the best month that you've ever had on your channel, ever.
Yeah.
In terms of
really
subscribers gained, it was your third best month ever. And subscribers gained is like not even a good metric.
No. Yeah, it went really crazy. It really took me by surprise, but it honestly makes a lot of sense when you think about it. And I don't know how we didn't really think of this before, but if you upload 6 times more than usual, you're just going to get more views.
Yeah.
It doesn't even matter at that point. You're just uploading 6 times the amount. And I don't know, I feel lucky that it turned out well. And yeah, Social Blade, April was nice, but
May is probably going to be even crazier.
Yeah, exactly, because there's going to be a built-up momentum. And the thing about weekly uploading is that the momentum just builds up so much faster.
Yeah.
Like, it would take like 3 months or maybe even 4 to get the momentum that feel like I have right now with these videos, because I'm just posting so much more frequently.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I don't know, it's insane to me to see my channel go from like the lowest point it's been in like a year or two to the highest point ever.
Yeah.
By like a good like 50% more than before.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my previous highest was 3.8 mil in a month.
Yeah.
I said like 5.1 almost.
That's crazy. That's nuts.
It is so insane, and that's not counting all the momentum. That's kind of what keeps me motivated to keep working on stuff every week and like keep it going, because like, I don't know, it's so nice. It's almost addicting to see your numbers go up that much, you know?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Question though, I usually ask this question to every single person who comes on, but where do you want to see yourself at the start of, actually, where do you want to see yourself exactly 1 year from now?
Exactly 1 year from now, I want to have an apartment in Canada with Paige while she's finishing her study. And I want to have a weekly upload streak that hasn't been broken, or at least hasn't been broken more than twice.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say that. I want to have 2 million subscribers.
2 million subscribers within a year. That's crazy. That's ambitious. But honestly, like, if you keep up the schedule, and I feel like this is a schedule that you can even increase, especially if you like bring on an editor. You could go from 1 to 2 uploads a week. Like, that's definitely doable.
Yeah. No, here's the thing. I was able to do those. That basically April was 1 to 2 uploads a week. That was the big schedule that I had planned for a while. Like doing one friend or foe episode a week, and then doing my own personal projects in between. That was the idea, but TwitchCon and a trip with Paige and VidCon is all happening in between.
Yeah.
So I'm just working on getting stuff ready for the friend or foe episodes, and I'm just gonna go weekly for a little bit while we do the traveling and whatever, and then it's right back to like grinding personal projects out as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I might get an editor on board for that though.
Mm-hmm. What about 5 years in the future, or is that too far?
5 years in the future. In 5 years, I want to be still doing well on YouTube.
Yeah. I
think I do. It's been my dream to like be one of the greats in the Minecraft community, you know?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
In 5 years, I really hope I achieve like that status.
Yeah.
That's my ultimate goal, I guess.
All right, Clown. Guess what?
What?
It's been an hour already.
Oh my God, it actually has been an hour. My goodness.
Have you ever?
It's fast when you're having fun.
Have you ever heard the outro song through my AirPods?
Never heard it through your AirPods, but I've heard it like 13 times.
All right, do you hear it now?
I do not hear it.
Okay, it's fine. Do you have anything that you want to say before we wrap things up?
Hey guys, I'm in the sub race with Spocus here. Basically, subscribe to ClownPierce.
To 1 million subscribers. Subrace 2.0. Get Clown to 1 million. Get everybody on Lifesteal to 1 million, honestly.
Yeah, just subscribe to everybody on Lifesteal right now. Do it.
Do it. Right now. Right now. And
right now. I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you. You that right there. Right there. Yeah, you.
All right. Thank you everybody for listening to the test run. If you're listening on Spotify, make sure to follow, leave a 5-star review. If you are listening on YouTube, comment, like, subscribe, do whatever you have to. And I will see you in the next episode. Bye.